Well, hey there, everybody, and welcome to the book birthday party for The Revolution of Jack Frost, which is my Jack Frost retelling. This is a sci-fi kind of dystopian tale all about the man who saved everyone from an out-of-control weather machine. Or does he? I'm super excited about it, and I am thrilled that you are joining me. If you've got questions, if you've got comments, I do want to hear from you. If you are live with me, jump down and let me know what your questions are in the comments below. And if you happen to be on our replay, I would love to hear from you too. I will be monitoring these questions over the next couple of days, and I will get everything answered for you. I will happily do extra videos just like this one for you. But the cool thing about today's live broadcast launch party is that we are giving away books. So I am giving away copies of some of my ebooks. I will be giving away some ebooks of The Revolution of Jack Frost. And one lucky person is going to get a print copy of The Revolution of Jack Frost, which I know is a little hard to see with that glare. Sorry, guys. I'm trying. One wonderful person is going to receive a print copy of this. So the more comments you leave, the more chances you have to get a copy of this. It is going to be one of those comments down below. So the more comments you leave over the next 2 days, you will be able to have more chances to get a copy of this. I've got a number. I'm going to keep counting through until we get to that number, and whoever it is gets a copy of this. It does have to be in the U.S., though. My publisher has said it has to be in the U.S. Everybody else, ebooks. So lots of wonderful people will be winning lots of wonderful things today. And I did want to jump on and chat just a little bit about the Revolution of Jack Frost. I'm going to introduce you to some of our characters. We're going to do some fun, fabulous things. And I do want to let you guys know that this story is not a winter story. It's not. This is actually a story about a group of people who live in a bunker, and they are isolated from everybody else. They do not see the outside world. They don't even know the outside world exists. And their seasons go a month of winter, 2 days of spring, a week of summer, and then 2 days of fall before another month of winter. So they get these extreme weather conditions, and they have to try to survive it, because what they don't know is that the outside world is actually testing them to see how they adapt and to see how they survive. Unfortunately, this weather machine kind of goes out of control. People start losing fingers and other limbs to frostbite. Bad things are happening. People are disappearing. And they quickly discover that there's some technology inside of the globe that they live in. They call it a snow globe. And it is one of those things that they should not be having. It should not exist anymore. And unfortunately, they learn that maybe one of their own people is betraying them. They have to figure out who it is and then stop this out-of-control weather machine before it's too late. So if you're joining me live, I would love to hear from you. Give me a little comment, love, and your birthday wishes for the Revolution of Jack Frost down in those comments below. And if you absolutely love my super adorable gloves here, give me a shout out. I actually got these in like 4 different colors a couple years back at a craft show fair type thing. And so I figured they were appropriate to be pulling on and hanging out with Jack and Genesis. There we go. Jack and Genesis. This is artwork drawn by my incredible artist. And you can see Jack and Jen are joining me for today's episode. Jess, thanks so much for showing up. We do appreciate all of the love. And if you guys have questions, if you've got comments, now is the time. Go ahead and pop those down below. So who is Jack Frost? Well, he does not have magic. He does not necessarily control the weather, although he is the one who is the only one who can save them from this weather machine. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I do want to read the back cover of this to you before I introduce you to some of the characters. So stick with me. We're going to read a little bit of the back cover of The Revolution of Jack Frost. I guess you can see it better that way. Oh, the glare. I don't know which way to tip this. Sorry, guys. No one inside the snow globe knows that Morizoko Industries is controlling their weather, testing them to form a stronger race that can survive the fallout from the bombs being dropped on the outside world. All they know is they must survive the harsh winter that lasts a month and use a few days of spring, summer, and fall to gather enough supplies to survive. When the seasons start shifting, Genesis and her boyfriend Jack know something is going on. As their team begins to find technology that they don't have access to inside their snow globe of a world, it begins to look more and more like one of their own is working against them. Genesis soon discovers Morizoko Industries is to blame, but when a foreign enemy tries to destroy their weather program to make sure their destructive, life-altering bombs succeed in destroying the outside world, their only chance is to shut down the machine that is spinning out of control and save the lives of everyone inside the bunker at any cost. So there we go. Super excited. for this one, and it comes out today. Just Julian is joining us. A chilling hunkaroo. Okay, that's a fun way of putting it. I like it. But we are going to be meeting the characters. We're going to be talking a little bit about the story. We're going to talk about the inspiration behind the story, and we're giving away not only ebooks of some of my books, not only ebooks of The Revolution of Jack Frost, but there is one print version of this up for grabs in the US. You have to be US. Unfortunately, my publisher has said US only for the print version, but ebook for everybody else. And the more comments you leave, the more likely you are to get this, because we have a predetermined number down there that we're super excited about. Alexis is here. She's giving all the love to Jack, who is our gorgeous leading man. And this story actually takes place from Genesis' point of view. So we actually get to see his girlfriend, Jack Frost's girlfriend, watch him become a legend. It's kind of interesting. It's pretty much going to rip your heart out. Sorry, not sorry. We got a lot of really cool, fabulous things going on inside of this book. So, guys, if you've got questions, I do want to hear from you. Go ahead and drop those down in the comments below. And I think that it is time for us to meet the characters. So who would like to meet the leading ladies and men of the Revolution of Jack Frost? I'm super excited to introduce these characters to you. These are some really incredible characters that I've actually had the chance to create, and I'm going to pull a picture up right now. We're going to talk just a little bit about them. Yes, we are, but actually we have to take some stuff off the screen so that you can see. Boom! There we go. We got it. And I actually have to pull up the image so that I can see it, because it's definitely off screen for me here. There we go. Beautiful. Okay, so we're going to start from one side and work our way to the other. So let's actually go on the right side here. Nathaniel is up first. Nathaniel is actually Jack's best friend, but he also may have a little flirtation thing going on with Genesis. Jen is very, very stay true to your man. Nathaniel likes to push both of their buttons. But he is kind of a voice of reason within the story. He's kind of one of those people who says what everybody's thinking. He's very practical, and he's not going to let Jack push everybody around. And he's also not going to take a lot of Genesis's nonsense. If she tries to pull something, he's going to call her on it. But then again, so is Jack. So Nathaniel is pretty interesting, and he definitely gets under Jack's skin because Jack may be seeing some things that are not really there. Maybe they are really there. I don't know. Oh, Nathaniel, Jessica says. I know, Nathaniel. I do like Nathaniel. If you have not seen my interview with J.M. Sullivan, she posted that yesterday. We actually fan cast the entire cast of The Revolution of Jack Frost with real-life actors. You should go check it out. Lots and lots of fun. Next up is Perrin. Perrin is actually our resident doctor. And so he is the man who knows all of the medical stuff. He's the one who, unfortunately, has to cut off some fingers somewhere along the line of this particular story. Pretty early on, I am chopping off fingers. It happens. Frostbite, you know. It's all good, right? Perrin is very much a voice of reason. Perrin is very much very stable, very steady, and he is the older brother of Eliza, our next girl in the lineup. Eliza is one of the older girls, but she is not necessarily one that goes out to do all the finding food and finding things for survival. She tends to stick closer to the bunker. She tends to watch the children. She's kind of the mama of everybody kind of a deal, and she's not necessarily an outdoorsy girl. She's absolutely lovely, and she happens to be dating Ness, who is next in line. Poor Ness. Oh, poor Ness. Ness, unfortunately, right at the very beginning of the story, does get caught out in the harsh weather and loses some fingers. Yes, he does. That is basically the very first intro you get to the bunker. Life is hard inside of the bunker, and Ness knows this firsthand. Oh, bad joke. Bad joke. But he is absolutely lovely. He is much better at dealing with these things than some other people who have been in the bunker who maybe had some bad things happen to them because of the weather and maybe are no longer there. Ooh, Ness is handling it better. It's all good. And next to him is Azra. Azra is a quirky, spunky girl. She is one of those ones that's very athletic. She's tiny. She's adorable. She's super cute. And she is one of those girls that like runs really fast, so they send her on missions to go spy on, well, not spy, they don't spy there, but to, you know, go get information. She's gathering information for them on things out in the bunker area and the different sectors. She's the one that's always climbing up trees. She's very, very fast-paced, very bubbly. She's the kind of gal who loves her coffee. They actually make coffee out of cattails. Interesting. That was a fun thing to research for me as I was writing this. But she doesn't necessarily need her coffee. She's just very, very perky and sarcastic and snarky. And she does love to get under Jack's skin because he knows that, or she knows that Jack has an issue with Nathaniel and maybe Genesis, and she likes to kind of egg on some of these friendly encounters going on back and forth. It's kind of fun. Next to Azra, we've got little teeny tiny ones, Lily and Nicholas. Lily and Nicholas are little children who will live in the bunker. They do have a number of little children living in the bunker. They actually take in the kids that they find wandering around out in the different sectors, and they are raising them inside of the bunker. And Lily is a very chatty, very talkative little girl, absolutely lovely. She is head over heels in love with Jack, and she's just very, very chatting. Nicholas is the exact polar opposite. He is very, very quiet, very, very contained in. He doesn't talk to a lot of people. He's very quiet. He's very reserved and very, very introverted. He's very, very much one of those little boys who loves Genesis, and he will be very chatty with Jen, but not necessarily with everybody else. So he likes one-on-one time. He likes hugs. He likes to be held. He likes to be paid attention to, but he doesn't like big crowds. He's maybe a little bit step or two behind some of the other kids, and Lily likes to speak for him. So the two of them, it's an interesting duo that we've got there. Alexis is hanging out saying, "Can I just live with them, please?" Hey, good luck. I don't know if you actually want to live in the bunker, but sure. Next to Nicholas and Lily, we actually have Genesis. Genesis is our leading character. She is the main voice of the revolution of Jack Frost, and she is the girlfriend to Jack, who eventually becomes Jack Frost. So we actually get to see a legend being born through her eyes. She is very practical. She's very responsible. She kind of keeps an eye out for everybody, but she's not necessarily the biggest leader in the bunker. Jack, however, is. They do have Adam, who is kind of in charge. He's almost like an older version of Jack. They're very, very similar in the way that they look, the way they speak, the way they act, the way they do things. And he was kind of like Jack's mentor. So we don't actually have Adam or Adam's wife pictured here, or some of the other secondary-ish characters. But Jack is definitely second-tier leadership within the bunker, and he is known for taking care of the kids. He's very theatrical, very dramatic. He loves to tell stories. He loves to entertain people, but he also takes a lot of risks, as does Genesis. And the two of them try very hard to make sure the other one is not taking risks, but then they take it on themselves and they do things that they probably should not be doing. And so that is the cast of The Revolution of Jack Frost. Lots and lots of fun inside of this story. And if you've got questions, I want to hear from you. So let me know, what questions do you have for me today? What do you want to hear about in terms of The Revolution of Jack Frost? We are going to be answering lots of questions. We're going to be hanging out. And like I said, the more comments you leave, the better chances you have for winning the print version, the ebook versions, and the ebook versions of a bunch of my other books as well. So like I mentioned, The Revolution of Jack Frost is not necessarily a winter book. Yes, it does have some winter in it. Yes, there is a big winter scene at one point, but it's very much about the clashing of the seasons. So we have a month of winter, 2 days of spring, a week of summer, and 2 days of fall before we start the cycle again. And things start to get a little weird. In fact, we have a shortened summer. We have winter showing up in the middle of summer. We have fall just disappearing altogether. We've got all sorts of weird and interesting things going on inside of this. We've actually got floods that appear and disappear within minutes, destroying everything and then just poof, gone. We have walls of rain falling where it will be pouring rain over here and totally dry over here, and the rain does not move. So there's all sorts of weird, interesting things going on inside of this weather, and I want to know, what is the weirdest weather you've ever experienced? Jump down in those comments and let me know, what is the weirdest weather you have ever experienced? I know that I actually wrote this book last January. I wrote it in 9.5 days because I happened to be helping this publisher to find some new authors. And I mentioned a project that I had been working on, and they weren't quite sold on one. And so I just happened to throw out here that I had a Jack Frost retelling, but it wasn't written yet. And they said they wanted to see it. And they had a lot of really cool stuff happening within their publishing house. And so I knocked it out in 9.5 days. I sent it to my editors, my personal proofreader editors. They got it back to me, and within 2 weeks of the publisher asking to see this book, I had the book written, proofed, edited, and sent to them. And then when they sent it to their people, there was like 6, 7 typos that the editor caught. Nothing else changed. So ever since we wrote that back in January of this year, our weather has been so weird and so wonky, and I blame Jack every single solitary time. And so if you have been experiencing weird weather, it's entirely this book's fault. I'm sorry. I did not know that that was going to happen when I wrote it. I didn't mean for that to happen, and my apologies to you. Jack was just throwing a little hissy fit sometimes. It happens. Let's see. Woo. We do have lots of questions. Yay, I like questions. Keep coming with the questions. Elle Beaumont is here, and she loves my gloves. Thank you, girl. I got this at, kind of a, it wasn't exactly a craft fair. It was like half craft fair, half town yard sale type deal, but it was like tables in the park. I'm like, it's not a garden. Tables in the park, and a bunch of vendors were there, and somebody had all these really cool gloves. I have them in like 4 different colors, maybe 3. 4. It is 4. I have them dark brown, gray, a red color, and then a tan color. Yes, I do. How did you decide the time span of each season? Jessica wants to know. In terms of this, I knew I needed a longer gap of time for the winter season, because the entire point is that Morozoko Industries is testing these people. They are testing this group of people. They're trying to see how they adapt, how they survive, and they want to make sure that they can survive in the harsh climates, because the bombs outside of the bunker are actually destroying the climate and the atmosphere and the things that are happening up, you know, where people are. I'm going Little Mermaid here, up where they walk. So I knew it needed to be mostly harsh weather. I also knew that they needed a decent amount of time to gather food, because if you don't have enough time to have this food created and found, there's no way you're surviving a month of winter if you have no food. It's just not going to happen. So I knew I needed a big span of winter time. I knew I needed a decent chunk of summer. So that was a week. A month of winter, a week of summer. And then I knew I needed some transition times. I did not want a long spring, and I did not want a long fall. I wanted it to be very much the extremes of the temperature. So 2 days of spring and 2 days of fall. I think I didn't actually check that before I did this. I think that's what it was. It might be like 2 or 3 days. But I knew I wanted it very short, because they are controlling the entire bunker area. Everything in their world is overseen by Morozoko Industries, and they have the power to grow food, to have trees spring up, to have bushes spring up in the course of a couple of hours. They have the ability to kill all of the plants within a couple of minutes. They have the ability to change these things up. And so I knew I needed that big chunk of winter, a slightly long bit of summer, enough that they could go and gather the food that they needed. And then spring was that transition day, those 2 days to kind of grow things. And then fall was just kind of in there because you needed to transition and fall. you know the deal. But like the apples grow on the trees during fall and all of that loveliness. So 2 days to go out and get the apples and the fun things. Let's see. Nathaniel. Elle's giving love to Nathaniel. She is not a fan of Jack. She does like Nathaniel, though. We do have Team Nathaniel and Team Jack. So let me know. Are you Team Nathaniel or Team Jack? Drop it down. Elle says, weirdest weather? I think tornadoes in Massachusetts. Jessica says, what is your favorite season to write about? Well, I am a girl who hates the winter. Hate it so much. I am a warm weather girl. Give me summer all the time. Let me live directly on the equator in the sun where it's beautiful all the time. I will be a happy camper. So I'm definitely going to say summer, because it's not winter. I wrote it in January. Well, actually, I take that back. I wrote the first couple of pages of this book the summer it wasn't the summer before. It was like 2 or 3 summers before, and I just sat there for a really long time because I had other books to write. And so the beginning of this was written a very long time ago, just literally like 3 pages, and then everything else was written in 9.5 days. And so it started out writing a winter scene in the middle of summer when it was really hot, and then I wrote a bunch of summer and spring and fall scenes in the coldest part of winter here. So it was kind of a weird twist, but I definitely don't like writing winter because it makes me feel cold. It makes me feel icky, and I've seen enough snow that I don't ever need to see it again, ever. And then I went and wrote a story about Jack Frost. Go figure. Yay for your amazing proofreaders. Yes, they are amazing. They are the best, and they help me in so dang many ways. Shout out to them. Weirdest weather for Jessica Julian is 120 degrees in Arizona, followed by deep orange dust storm. Ew. Followed by downpour, followed by sunshine. Girl, that's a weather. Man, wow. Jessica also wants to know who is my favorite character to write. You know, I really loved writing from Genesis' point of view because I got to see Jack in a way that I wouldn't be able to look at him if I had written it from his viewpoint. And I had considered doing a dual point of view, but when I started writing, I really just wanted Jen's point of view. And there are reasons, for those of you who know and have read this story, you know why I really, really, really wanted it from her perspective and not from Jack's at all. But I like that we get to watch a legend being born from the perspective of someone who loves him, someone who cares for him, and someone who got to see it firsthand and kind of experience it with him, but not actually having it be him. So I very much loved writing Jack through Genesis' perspective. Jen was also awesome. Loved writing Azra. And so Nathaniel was also a great one for me to write. Lots and lots of fun. And I also like the kids. I'm a kid person. I have a degree in elementary education. I used to teach little kids all the time. And now that I don't teach little kids anymore, I kind of miss them. So it was a lot of fun for me to write Lily and Nicholas and some of the other kids that you meet along the way. Which male character in Jack would you get Frosty with? That's a question I probably didn't actually mean to pull up. Keep asking your questions, guys. I would love to hear from you. That would be totally awesome. And I mean, Jack and Nathaniel, kind of awesome. I'm just saying. I wouldn't mind being trapped in a bunker with them. That's all I'm saying. Who was your favorite character, not including Jack and Genesis? Not including Jack and Genesis, my favorite character would be, it's actually really hard. I loved writing Nathaniel. I really loved writing Azra, and I loved writing the kids. So take your pick. Yes. Awesome. I caught up on my questions. Keep going, guys. Ask me lots of questions. Let me know, what do you want to know more of? And while we are here hanging out, I need you to do me a favor. If you are having fun at today's release party for the Revolution of Jack Frost, I do need you to jump down and hit that share button. Let your friends know we're here hanging out, talking all about Frosty Jack Frost. And we are hanging out, giving away free books to some fabulous people is all that I'm saying. We are going to be giving away copies of some of my other books, my Goldilocks retelling, my dystopians. I've got mermaid books. So if you are interested in being here and hanging out with me, I totally just saw Alexis's question. If you are here hanging out with me, we are giving away copies of Golden. We're giving away copies of Jaded, Virtually Sleeping Beauty. We are going to be giving away copies of Cinderella and The Sinking and Sugar Coated and The Siren Wars. I'm looking at my stack of books right here, and I'm trying to pull the ones that aren't already free. Hey, speaking of which, 6 free books out on all the buying platforms right now. You can get your hands on a copy of it. Lots and lots of fun. Jessica, yes, it is a shiny cover. It's a very shiny cover, and it does make it very hard for me to show you on my live broadcast and in my photos. Apologies. Those are my lights, because it is storming like crazy out here. I do blame Jack for this. And so there's no natural light, so I've got a bunch of artificial lights hanging out. It's a fun time. Oh, wait. Did I jump? Oh, it wasn't Alexis's question. It was Jessica's question. I misread that. Here we go. Which kissing scene was your favorite to write? There are a lot of kissing scenes inside of this book. I do admit I went a little heavy on the kissing scenes in this one. now that I'm a little bit developed as a writer, this is my 21st book in a year and a half. And so I'm a little more bold these days. And there's a lot of kissing scenes in this one. Gosh, I don't remember most of them because I wrote it in January and I haven't actually read it since I wrote it in January. I started to read it when I was looking for quote graphics for the party that Lady Amber is throwing us tonight. But I didn't have time to get through all of it, so I did skim some of it, so I don't remember all of it. I do remember there's a particular kissing scene that involves a desk. There's a particular kissing scene that involves what happens at the very end of the book that I can't give away. That was a little bit dramatic to write. Was anybody emotionally scarred by the end of this book? I'm just saying. So yeah, definitely the desk one is sticking out in my mind because I just read that one. The one at the end, because that's the one I can think of right now. I would have to read it over to actually answer that. But that is a good question. Maybe I'll do a separate video on that once I have settled myself down and actually read through this book again. Any future story ideas where your worlds from different stories will collide? Oh, well, I will say that I was thinking of my winter stories for the end of next year, so the winter 2019, this time next year, a year from now. And I did come up with a retelling that I want to do. And when I was thinking of it originally, I was like, oh, it would be the perfect spin-off for the Revolution of Jack Frost. But I don't have this one is with my publisher, and I don't have rights to that one for a couple more years. So the sequel and any potential spin-offs I'm holding off on for right now. But I do have another version of it that is going to come out next year I'm really excited about. As of right now, I'm not really doing any worlds collide because I write in very different worlds, and I try to do different takes on everything. So my sci-fis are all very different. My dystopians are all very different. Jaded does not work with Golden, and Syndrel has nothing to do with Virtually Sleeping Beauty, and they're all just kind of all over the map, totally different, no crossover whatsoever. However, if you do hang out on my blog, and I do encourage you to do so, you will actually find I have a number of, there's blog posts, there's some videos, there's character text conversations, there's things like, I just put one out for Halloween, so if my characters were all going to have a Halloween party, or if they're going to have a Christmas party like they did last year, there's crossover there. So I kind of treat them as if they were actors in a movie, and so they are the characters that they are inside of the book, but they also, in my mind and in my blog, hang out outside of their books and they're friends. So Jade and Illyria really are friends in real life. And they have Christmas parties and they dress up for Halloween and they do fun things. So if you want worlds colliding, that's all on the blog, but I do not have any intention of right now connecting any of these series together because they are their own entities as far as that goes. Alexis. Alexis is a little bit obsessed with my character Silas, and she would like him to show up in all of my books. Silas is actually from the Golden Trilogy, which is buried in my pile of books. Let me see if I can get it out. She is very, 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 very obsessed with this boy who happens to be the best friend of Dove Bear, who is my baby bear in my Goldilocks retelling, and she would love for him to show up all the time. Only he's not going to. Sorry. Stuck an icicle in my heart for the end of this book, right, Jess? I know, I was mean. I was very mean on this one. But when am I not? I'm always mean at the endings of my books. You'll just have to see what happens. Just have to see. Elbamont is back with us. She had her phone die. Sadness, but I'm glad you are back, dear. Alexis says, what is your favorite character name you've used in your books? Wow, I'm losing my voice. Sorry, guys. I love Illyria's name. I love, love, love Illyria's name from the Golden Trilogy. I really love Selena's name and Isla's name from the Siren War saga. I'm actually looking. I'm looking. Annika. I do love Annika from Sugar Coated. That's my Hansel and Gretel retelling. She is Hansel and Gretel's witch. Yeah, let's go with those. I do love those. But I actually have a running list of names that I keep on my phone. And so whenever I need a new name for a new series or a new character, I consult the phone. And sometimes I make up names, and sometimes they actually are real names. Elle Beaumont is in the comments. She is saying a Nick and Cinderella crossover. So Elle has actually written Hunter's Truce, which is a Three Little Pigs, Big Bad Wolf retelling where he's an assassin. And then Cinderella is my Cinderella retelling. She is an assassin. And so they would actually probably get along pretty dang well. And that might be a very fun crossover for us to create, since they're both very sci-fi fantasy-ish. And so that could potentially be a thing. Alexis is saying Silas deserves a cameo. Nope. Nope, we don't do cameos here. Check the blog if you want crossover. That's the way it goes. Elle says, I know you said you're waiting for any spin-offs, but would you consider doing a Nathaniel short in the future? Elle does like Nathaniel, and I do have some short stories that are floating around out there if you can find them. I do not have one for Nathaniel yet, but it is definitely something that I would like to do. So, yes, there may be some scenes coming up soon that we're going to be putting out there where maybe Genesis and Jack start dating and all these fun, fabulous things before the story takes place. But it would definitely be fun to see a little bit of Nathaniel's life before we jump into the revolution of Jack Frost. So definitely one of those things that I would consider doing. Do you have questions? Do you have comments? I would love to hear from you. Jump down into those comments below and let me know. We are going to be hanging out for just a few more minutes before we bounce over to a live broadcast on Instagram Live as well. So if you've got questions, if you've got comments, I do want to hear from you. And the more comment love that you leave, whether you are live right now or you are on my replay, you have a better chance of winning the print copy of The Revolution of Jack Frost that we are giving out on this episode, or the ebooks of The Revolution of Jack Frost, or the ebooks of a whole bunch of my other books that are sitting over here in a massive pile that's literally the size of the floor up to my knee. It's fun. I took a picture. Check my social media. Elle just took this to a whole new level. She is asking for a little bit of a fan fiction, I think, with her and Nathaniel. So I don't know, boo. I don't know. Keep dreaming. All right, let's take a step back. If you still have questions, I want to hear from you. We're going to be wrapping this up in a few minutes, but I would still love to hear from you and get your questions answered. We've met the characters. We've talked all about Jack and Genesis. We talked a little bit about the seasons within the bunker, within the story. But I do want to take a step back and talk a little bit about my inspiration for this particular series. So, The Archives of Jack Frost is a series I have been thinking about doing for a very long time because I happen to be absolutely obsessed with this movie. So this is the old stop motion Jack Frost. I absolutely love it. Look at them. Are they not the cutest ever? They are, and she makes the wrong decision, and it broke my heart. And I've been a little bit obsessed with Jack Frost ever since. I also loved him in Rise of the Guardians, which apparently I borrowed from my local library and don't actually own a copy of. What even is that? But I'm very, very much a fan of Jack Frost in these particular movies, and that was something that kind of inspired me to write the series. Now, more than that, there is a photo. You can check it out on my social media. I totally forgot to pull it up for you guys, but I am going to be showing it tonight at the party that Lady Amber is throwing for us. And it is actually this incredible, let me see if I can find it on my social, because I know I put it up there. It's this incredible photo I did because I'm a professional fine art composite photographer, and I actually do this gorgeous imagery where I tell stories within my images. Here we go. Perfect. And so I am creating these amazing images, and I created one a number of years ago where this girl is bringing winter in. So it's a fall scene, and she is walking out of the forest, and the snow is following her. And you can see, maybe you can see just a little bit of that and how pretty that is. And so she's actually bringing the snow into this incredible scene. And that is what inspired this particular story. I knew I wanted to have the clashing of the seasons. I wanted seasons to be weird and wonky. And I originally thought maybe Jack would bring in the seasons, but that's not quite the way the story went. I'm actually seeing if I can attach my phone right now so I can show you that picture a little bit better. But that really and truly was the inspiration. So I knew I wanted to write a Jack Frost story. I didn't know what it was. He's been with me for a long, long time, just like Goldilocks has. You guys know that Goldilocks has been with me for years and years and years and years. And it took a really long time for me to figure out what her story actually was. Same with Jack here. It was with me for a very long time. And it took me a really long time to figure out what his deal was. But as soon as I created that particular image, the rest of the story kind of fell into place, and I knew what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it and all that fun, wonderful loveliness. Yes, I got it, my friends. Let me pull it up for you. Let me pull this up for you. All right. Sharing that particular screen. Here it is. All right. There you go. That is a look at this beautiful image that we have created. Sorry, guys, I'm definitely losing my voice here. Woo! And love, we're getting love for the release of The Revolution of Jack Frost as we speak. I don't know if that popped up on your screen, but it totally popped up on mine. And while we're here, let's just pop that one up too. Check out that gorgeous Bookstagram photo. And let me ask you, if you are a fan of doing Bookstagram, would you please be ever so kind and take a photo of The Revolution of Jack Frost today? You can pull the cover off of Goodreads or Amazon. I can send it to you. And if you are so kind as to post on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, tag me at k.m.robinson books. I would love to see what you're creating. I'll give you a little shout out, give you a little love. And if you happen to have read The Revolution of Jack Frost, I need your quotes. We need to get some fan quotes going on here in my social media and over on my publisher's social media, because we are just starting to get all the promo stuff out for The Revolution of Jack Frost. And so if you have read this book before, I am asking you to send in a 1 to 3 sentence quote about why I loved it, and I will put you up on social media. Let me know how to credit you, and if it's cool if I use your profile picture as a little circle next to your name, because that kind of gives a little bit more credibility to the quotes that I'm putting out there. So I would love, love, love to hear from you. I hear you have an artist cough. Is she working on anything? But I don't know. I know she was working on my characters from Sugar Coated. I know she finished one of them, but she still has 2 to go. So I guess I would have to wait on her to see if that is coming out anytime soon, which I can say because it's you, boo. It's you. You really love Jack Frost. I'm glad you love Jack Frost. Jack Frost is amazing. He's a great character, and I'm a really big fan of hanging out with Jack Frost. And Elle Beaumont is here with the save. She is. Please, if you have read The Revolution of Jack Frost, I do need your help. Post this on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, BookBub. Kobo's a big one now that Walmart has combined with them, and they are selling things through Walmart's website for our books. So if you are someone who has read this book, please leave a review. It doesn't have to be long, just a sentence or two. Say you liked it, say you loved it. If you're one of those people who wants to add a few more words, say why you loved it. We are asking that you do leave reviews because that is so incredibly helpful to us as authors so that we can write more books just like The Revolution of Jack Frost or all 20 of my other books. Because like I said, number 21 in a year and a half. You can post reviews on BookBub. Yes, you can, Connie. So actually over on BookBub, this is a platform where people can sign up to get free or discounted books every single day. And they actually have the ability to put reviews right on BookBub. And authors have the ability to get an author profile. Now, you cannot do anything as an author on BookBub. They don't have any way of us interacting with people, which I am in conversation with them about fixing. But They do allow authors to leave recommendations for people. So if you are an author and you have some amazing author friends that you want to promote and support over on BookBub, you can leave recommendations for your fans. But fans also have the ability to go leave reviews on books on BookBub. And this is definitely something that BookBub looks at when they are considering us for featured placements in their newsletter. So if you can leave a review on BookBub, please do. Amazon is the #1 spot to leave us reviews. Then BookBub is super, super important. Then Barnes & Noble is really important. And now Kobo is really, really important. All the others fall after that. So if you can post on iBooks, if you can post on Thalia, if you can post on, I don't know, but there's a whole bunch of them. If you can post on those other places, that would be amazing. Goodreads doesn't actually help us. If you want to post there, totally cool. We would love you to post there. Doesn't actually help us sell books. But if you can go to Amazon and BookBub and then Barnes & Noble and iBooks and Kobo, super helpful. Best things in the world. Yes. Yeah. All the reviews, Jess is saying. Elwoman is saying, yes, reviews are like claps for fairies. Clap if you believe. If you leave reviews, you help an author to grow. If you don't leave reviews, the author dies. Shrivels up and dies and does not write anything else because they can't afford to. So help us. Help us with the reviews. Connie says that I can't wait to get my copy. It won't be here till Monday. I'm super sad about that, Connie. I don't know why it's taking so long. That's really weird. I'm sorry. Anywhere you can find your book, just post it. Yeah, if you can. All you got to do is copy and paste, guys. Copy and paste. Write it once, copy and paste on all the different sites, and it really, really, really helps us out. Elsa says, true, we die. We do die. We absolutely die. Guys, this fur, I think, is coming off. It is definitely on my face right now because I keep touching it. Sorry. Hey, if you got questions, if you got comments, I do want to hear from you. If you have more questions about the Revolution of Jack Frost, my inspiration behind it, any of my characters, whatever you want to know about the Revolution of Jack Frost, this is your chance to get your questions answered. We did talk a little bit about our characters. I may or may not be recording a live reading later. I was going to until I lost my voice. Maybe I'll have to be a couple days. I don't know. But I do have a party over on Instagram in just a few minutes. And I do have a party with Lady Amber tonight. So if you're a part of Lady Amber's Party Lounge group, you can come hang out with me. We're going to do a live Q&A. I guess she's got some questions and games and things planned for tonight. My job is to show up, do the live Q&A, answer some questions, and then to sit back and hang out and enjoy the party and interact with you guys. But I don't actually know what's happening. So I guess it's kind of a surprise party for me, right? That's fun. We do like surprises. So fun, fabulous things going on for the Revolution of Jack Frost today. If you did not catch my party earlier, I actually teamed up with my publishing sister, Alicia Gale. She has a brand new Rapunzel retelling out today, and we did a party this morning here on Facebook.com/k.m.robinson books, where we chatted about our different stories, kind of had some crossover things going on there, and we answered some fan questions and maybe still giving away ebooks of each of those books over there. So make sure you check that out as well. Connie would like to know, who is my favorite character in this book? This is a really hard one for me, Connie, because I was very much attached to both Jack and Jen. And I'm a big fan of Azra and Nathaniel and the children. And so it's very hard for me to pick a favorite. I don't know. I can't choose between Jack and Jen. I've tried really, really hard. I think it was really, really important for me to write this from Genesis' point of view. It was very, very important for me to be in her head and to see all of this through her eyes. But, I mean, it's Jack. He's snarky, he's dramatic, he's adorable, he's just super cute, and he's a really great kisser. So, I mean, it's very, very hard for me to pick. I will say that there are some interesting things going on in the sequel. There is a sequel. The sequel is actually called The Redemption of Jack Frost. And interesting things happen, but I can't tell you too much about it yet. I can't. But we're actually going to see, I think we're going to see some of this from maybe another character's point of view. It's going to be rather interesting, especially if you know the end of the Revolution of Jack Frost. No spoilers. But it's definitely going to be interesting. think it's going to be interesting. Jess Julian says, party, party. Yes, yes. So many parties. I haven't done anything for the last 2 days in preparation for all of these parties today. It's been crazy. Lots and lots of fun. All right, guys. If you've got any last-minute questions, any last-minute comments, go ahead and hit me up now. Otherwise, I am going to invite you to join me on Instagram in just a few minutes. But before we go, I do want to know, what is your favorite version of Jack Frost? And I'm going to say this is definitely my favorite version. This was my first time really meeting Jack Frost. I fell in love with this story. I was so heartbroken at the end of this story. It was sweet. It was tragic. It was lovely. So good. So good. And then I fell in love with it again when we met him in The Rise of the Guardians. Also absolutely lovely. And I think there's little bits and pieces of both of these versions of Jack in my Jack, but he's also very different, very independent, and very much his own person within my story as well. Remember, if you want to win an ebook, more comments, more chances. And if you want to win a print book, more comments, more chances. We are giving away a whole bunch of them today. We have lots of fun and fabulous things to be giving away today. This is going to run for the next 2 days. So if you're on a rebroadcast, do not worry. You've got until the next 2 days. And I will let you guys know who has won what. Yeah, Jess is here and she is saying Jack from Rise of the Guardians. It's a good one. It's a good one. I do like that story there. I like how they kind of retold him. I like the backstory. I like who he is and who he becomes within the story. So lots and lots of fun things there. And I know because I have a couple of people here hanging out. Alexis, she's a big fan of Jack from the Rise of the Guardians. And she is, like me, also a big fan of pairing Jack Frost here, with Elsa from Frozen. I'm just saying. Just saying. Yeah, lots of love for The Rise of the Guardians. I do need to get myself a copy of that. I didn't realize I didn't have a copy. I definitely borrowed it from our local library, and I thought that I had a copy of it. I did not. So I'm going to have to get my hands on a copy of that now because I really want to do a Jack Frost binge watching day and just watch both of my favorite versions. And then maybe read my book, which I haven't read in its entirety since January. All right. Lots and lots of love for Jack Frost and the Revolution of Jack Frost. Before I go, please jump down and leave me your well wishes for the book launch of The Revolution of Jack Frost, which is still glaring pretty good on my screen there. I would love, love, love. Write that mashup, please. Jess, remind me. I got to tell you something later. Remind me. You will like it. Leave me your well wishes for the book birthday of The Revolution of Jack Frost. And if you happen to have read it and loved it, leave me a 1 to 3 sentence comment that I can turn into a quote graphic. I've had people sending them to me throughout the day, but I would love to hear from you guys too. I'm going to be making quote graphics and sprinkling them out on social media over the next couple of days to celebrate. And I would love to hear from YOU. I'm K.m. Robinson. I am the author of The Revolution of Jack Frost, the Golden Trilogy, the Jada Duology, the Legends Chronicles, Virtual Sleeping Beauty, the Goose Girl and the Artificial, the Sinking, the Siren Wars Saga, Syndrel, Sugar Coated, and a whole bunch of other fabulous books that are out and coming out soon because, guys, I still have 2 more releasing between now and the end of this year. I know it's November already, but y'all, 2 more books are coming. And we just released 2 other books in the last 2 weeks. So I've had 3 releases in the last 3 weeks. All of the other books have hit #1 bestseller. They topped the charts. They did so well. I've actually had multiple bestsellers in the last couple of days, and I am hoping that we can get Jack up there as well. That would be totally amazing. So help a girl out. Take those bookstagram photos. Give me those quote graphics and leave your reviews. You guys are absolutely fabulous, and I do appreciate each and every one of you being here to hang out. Jess is saying that it is fabulous, and you should read it. And then she loves me and my awesome hair. Yeah, girl. We do love the awesome hair. The super long hair, which I'm going to give it away, guys. I am. The hair is a hint for my next series that is coming out at the beginning of 2019. Working on it right now. Haven't officially announced it, but this is a major hint. Who do you think it is? Let me know. It's going to be a thing. I'm K.m. Robinson. author of The Revolution of Jack Frost and all those other fabulous books that I just listed. Thank you guys so much for joining me. You can come hang out with me at k.m.robinsonbooks.com. World portals are about to reopen for all of my books. We've got behind the scenes, there's character art, there's videos, there's interviews, there's bonus scenes, there's interactive choose your own adventure games, and so much more. And we are opening up the world portals again soon. I actually had expected to have them open already, but I had some stuff to take care of the last couple of days for today's launch. And so we didn't quite make it in time, but they will be open in the next week or two. Lots of fun, fabulous things going on over there. So make sure you check that out and hit me up, K.M. Robinson Books on all the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, YouTube, IGTV, and all the fun, fabulous places. Plus, be on the lookout because all day long I have been behind the scenes filming my book release day. This is not a typical book release day for me. I didn't have the control over everything that I usually do. So things are being done a little bit different. There's some stuff that I don't usually do. There's some stuff that I usually do that I didn't get to do today. It's a bit different than usual, but I did record the behind the scenes and we will have a video out in the next couple of days, fingers crossed, hopefully in the next week or so. We will get that out so you can see what it looks like to actually launch a book. And now I hope you guys will come join me over on Instagram Live. I will be going live in just a few minutes. I am going to be jumping on at the top of the hour, so in just a couple of minutes. I might even bounce in a little early. I don't know. We'll see. And give all of your fabulous love to Jack and Genesis on their book birthday. Appreciate each and every one of you being here. Until I see you guys again over on Instagram in just a couple of minutes, stay inspired and give all of your frosty well wishes to the Revolution of Jack Frost. Thanks so much for joining me. I will see you guys again really soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.